Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Lumpkin. I'm one of the dungeon designers with the Secret World in Montreal. I'm going to talk to you about one of our 5-man dungeons. This one is called the Darkness War. Previously, Ragnar, Martin, Joel have talked a little bit about how the player gets to do some time traveling in the Secret World, but we haven't quite come out and said exactly what that is. This is one excellent example. When the player is playing through New England, they meet a Wabanaki man named Old Joseph. And as they talk to him, he can put them into a trance that sends them into the past, sends them into a vision of New England's history. And so here we are on the New England coast. And we can observe some interesting features here in New England. What's happened is a group of Mayans have invaded New England, and they're searching for a place of power to perform a dark ritual. And a group of Vikings have also landed on the New England shores and are banding together with the Wabanaki to push back the Mayan threat. I could talk a lot about what's going on here, but we have some voiceover, some narration from Old Joseph himself that you hear as you're in this vision of the past.
The Norsemen came then upon our shores in longboats, and they brought with them a powerful sword. Together, the Wabanaki and the Vikings were to build a shield around this island that would keep it safe from our enemies, from those who wish to dig into the mountain and unleash the serpent.
So we're looking here at one of the earliest encounters in the dungeon, but the rest of my team is at the very end, so I'm going to go ahead and join them, and we're going to watch the last boss fight in the Darkness War. Come up to a better vantage point up here so we can get a look at what's down below. So down below we see a group of Mayans that are kneeling down in front of this pit, this dimensional rift, praying, performing some kind of ritual. We don't know exactly what that is, but we know that we don't want to let it complete, so we're just going to run on down there and try to put a stop to it as quickly as we can. So we're noticing that as we kill these Mayans, their souls are leaving their body and flying down into the pit. That's actually something we will have seen before in this dungeon. The last time we saw this, there was a powerful creature that was growing in power every time it absorbed the soul. And this is one of the ways that we use the same mechanic multiple times throughout a dungeon. Not necessarily in exactly the same way, because that's not quite what's happening here, but it's related in a way that foreshadows for the player what to expect. So I think we can safely, oh my goodness, we're in trouble. Hang on. We can safely assume that whatever's happening here is going to be dangerous. Whew. One of our DPSers got a little excited with her AoEs. It's okay. So, at long last, we've taken down all of the Mayans, and out from the pit, from the dimensional rift, comes this massive beast. This creature is called Wayabzul, the Hound of the Nameless Days, and he's a huge threat at this point in the game. And on the dungeon team, we always are trying to design with a specific experience in mind. We never just want to put players up against just a straight tank and spank, because we think that's really just not as exciting as it can be. And so for this particular part of this encounter, we want players to have the experience that they're fighting something that is beyond their ability to handle. He has a number of powerful abilities right now. For example, this ability that he's doing right now, he'll rear up and send out a shockwave that blurs everyone's vision, and then he also swaps targets, which is really threatening for our group at this period in time. He's also spewing out these massive cones of filth and stacking dangerous areas on the ground. He's also just pulled one of our friends in towards him, and if you don't move away, then he summons powerful magics and a blast around him that can really destroy anybody who's too close. These are three of the ways that we're letting players feel that this is a really scary encounter right now. So he's decided he's not making as much headway as he'd like, moves to the edge of the pit and begins casting a powerful spell to summon some reinforcements. And he takes off for a little while to let the Mayans handle things. And compared to before, when we had 3, 4, 5 Mayans at a time, now we have 7 or 8 Mayans at once. So this is a little more like when we screwed up and we pulled way more Mayans than we should have. All of a sudden, a lot more difficult than it had been before. So this encounter has a lot of back and forth where the player gets to feel comfortable or even powerful, and then they get to feel in danger. And then, as we will shortly see, we're about to gain a critical element on our side of the fight that will help us out a little bit. And here he is. This is the Varangian, and he is the Viking leader. And he's brought with him the powerful sword that old Joseph was talking about, which is the sword Excalibur. And he's channeling a powerful spell that's tripling our damage output and halving the damage that we take. And so all of a sudden, these large pools of Mayans that were a serious threat to us before, now we just cut through them like a hot knife through butter. So this is one of those ways that we let players, we shift the balance of power in the player's favor and let them feel really powerful. Of course, we're not quite content to leave it at that, and neither is the Hound of the Nameless Days. So he comes back, joins the fight. At the same time, we've got to deal with these Mayans continuously, and there's this malevolent force from beyond the dimension that's now focusing down on the Varangian. And if you look really closely, you can see that his health is actually going down. So if he dies, we're going to lose this powerful buff that we have running on us. And that will pose a serious threat to our ability to complete the encounter. We're also getting to see the final mechanic in this encounter right now, where the Hound of the Nameless Days is focusing powerful magic on the Mayans and turning them into living bombs. And if we get too close to them, then they detonate, dealing a huge amount of damage and knocking everybody back. Oh man. And so this is another time where we shift the balance of power again, and now players really have to deal with this threatening situation until finally they are victorious. After winning the fight, the players can actually come over and speak with the Varangian, learn a little bit more about what he's doing here, and he can actually wake them up out of the trance and return them to the real world. We're not going to spoil that for you right now, so we're just going to come over here and take a look at the edge of this pit. And this is an element that we've also seen before a couple of times, and it serves to connect these disparate elements in the story, helping us fit more jigsaw pieces into our puzzle. And that's the end of the Darkness War.